Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. That was today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. We also saw some history with an extra point blocked, returned for a two-point version. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck along with Troy Aikman, and here's Carolina undefeated. They've turned it over 3 times, had an extra point blocked for 2 points. They're down only 3. They're in a good spot here.
Yeah, you know, as much as you said, the win against them there in that first half, I've got to believe they feel good, relatively speaking. You know, only being down 3 points and then to get the ball to start this second half. So, you know, things couldn't have gone worse for them, and we'll see if they're able to battle. They've been in tight situations before. As I said, they've won a lot of different ways. This isn't new territory for them.
Look, these guys are paid to play this game, but I've been impressed with the fight by the New Orleans Saints. The defense has really come to play. And for the now coordinator, Dennis Allen, second week calling the plays, he's got to be thrilled. This is as good as this defense has looked in a while. Here's Fozzie Whitaker on the return for Carolina. Ran into his own man and is able to take it out to the 21. After he banged into David Mayo. Let's go down to Aaron Andrews.
Well, Sean Payton very happy with this defense as well, Joe. But let's talk about Carolina, because when I was talking to Ron Rivera going into the half, I asked him about the turnovers, and he said, our team didn't come into this game with the right attitude. We expected this team to just roll over the second we walked out there. I then tried to talk to him about why the running game got it going towards the end of the half, and he started saying blocking may have helped, and then he said, no, that's not even it. We just weren't even ready to play. I said, will you address it? And he said, you better believe it.
Well, let's see how they come out of the gate here in the second half. Aaron, first down at the 21. Here is Stewart with Newton riding his hip. A gain of 3. And now a flag is thrown in the secondary around the 30.
Yeah, that came in awfully late, too.
Personal foul, unnecessary, number 39 offense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Troy, the numbers for Brandon Browner, and that's why, and that's a good call. Brandon Browner's been called for defensive holding 9 times, 3 pass interference calls, 5 personal fouls, 2 in this game, and 1 illegal contact call against number 39. That's incredible.
Well, that was another penalty that wasn't very smart. He's the most penalized player on this Saints team. 18 penalties coming into this game.
Wow. Here's Olsen. What a throw. Was his left foot in bounds? It was. To the 41. And in a blink, the Saints territory. Good for 20.
Yeah, you kind of wonder sometimes how Greg Olsen is able to find some of these holes, knowing that he's the most targeted guy. They get the snap off before they get a chance to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, even from here, it looked like that left foot. Let's see, he's got the ball. Right foot, left foot. He was out of bounds. They missed it, and because the Panthers hustled to the line, the Saints didn't have any time to look at the replay.
Yeah,
that should have been a red flag.
Well, it definitely would have been had Sean Payton had been able to have somebody upstairs that could have alerted him. Cam Newton does an excellent job getting to the line. You don't see officials miss him quite that obviously.
And that stuff for the officials continues week after week. 2nd and 8. Here's Tolbert. Ducks in behind his blocking. Takes it inside the 15. And out of bounds near the 10. They list him as a fullback, but he's a threat with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, and when he's the back who's getting the ball, then who's going to lead block for him? And it's tight end Ed Dixon, and Tolbert's able to get in behind him. He's a big physical guy, and they're really fortunate to have him. He can do a lot of different things as we go back and we take a look.
Left toe, right foot. I think that might have been a good call, and you and I are wrong.
Awfully close, yeah, no question that Sean Payton likely would have challenged that. I don't know that anybody had a chance to really get a look at it, but could have been the right call.
Here is Stewart bouncing it out left side. And he is down inside the 10. A 29-yard carry, by the way, for Tolbert was a seam long to get him into a position for now a 2nd and goal as he's puffing on the sideline.
Well, like I said, guys like him are invaluable. He's a lead blocker. They can throw him the football. He's a one-back guy. He can block. He's good pass protector. He pretty much does it all.
8th year out of Coastal Carolina is Tolbert. Here is Stewart, and he is bottled up, has to force his way back to the line of scrimmage. The running game has been progressively getting better for the Carolina Panthers, and that's how they win football games.
Yeah, they came out, they opened this game up throwing the football, and then that second quarter they started getting back to really what they're about, running the football, and Jonathan Stewart started to see some holes. We'll see now what the Saints are able to do on 3rd down. As we talked about, making stops here and not giving up touchdowns become big.
Saints playing without Delvin Breaux. Injured in the first half. Pass is incomplete, but a flag. As Ted Ginn was hollering after the play. Jarris Byrd is on him. A hold, and that'll be an automatic first down.
Well, it's Brandon Browner who's got the contact, and
Holding. Defense, number 39.
you see as Ginn's trying to come out of the route.
Automatic. First down.
Browner has his right hand up there on his chest, and the officials make the right call.
That is the 10th defensive hold called against Brandon Browner this season. There's Ricky Prohl. What a fantastic receiver he was in his time in the league. Receivers coach talking to Ted Ginn. He's done a job with these guys.
He was a technician when he played.
Here's Newton keeping it, faking it, running it to the end zone, gets a hit, and does not get in. And he got thumped. Maudie, the linebacker, is there. And let's take a look at this hit as he was coasting. It was helmet to helmet. Newton, the runner.
Yeah, I don't know that Cam Newton was expecting contact, to be honest with you, Joe. He came out, he kind of slow plays it here towards the end. It looked like he thought he was just going to go in without any problem. And here comes Maudie, and he lays one on him. I mean, that was a big-time collision. Not one that the Carolina coaches want to see.
Sean Payton's looking for a flag. I'm with you. It looked like Cam Newton was coasting. Here is Stewart, but timeout called prior to the play by Carolina.
Charge timeout. Carolina. They're first.
Sean Payton is still livid. And I don't know what it is that he's arguing about, but whatever it was, our referee, Brad Allen, wasn't buying it. And now he's going to challenge.
New Orleans is challenging. There were 12 players in the formation prior to the snap.
Challenge. We'll get the call. Newton's thinking he might have had the touchdown. Coasted, got popped. And we'll check the call and get it when we come back.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By the Ford F-150, every other truck is history. And by State Farm, it pays to double check. Talk to your agent today.
Let's take a look. 12 men not in the huddle only, but at the line of scrimmage. And interestingly enough, a timeout was taken by Carolina, which allowed the challenge. As we checked in with Mike Pereira, how many men were in the huddle, but it didn't matter. There were 12 men out on the field lined up.
Well, Sean was upset because they didn't make the call on 12 men in the huddle. He was trying to get their attention the entire time.
After reviewing the play, on the previous play, there were not 12 players. Therefore, there is no challenge. There is no timeout. First down.
I don't understand that call. Here's Mike. Here's the huddle, and that's what we think, Mike, he was complaining about, but then 12 men lined up and the timeout occurred. What'd you see back in LA?
Well, really what happens is if you widen this out, timeout was called before this snap, period. So you didn't have a penalty, and he did want to challenge 12 in the huddle, but 12 men in the huddle is not reviewable. In the formation, yes, it is, but really it's a nothing play because the side judge at the top of the screen was shutting down the play before the snap anyways.
So the timeout by Carolina, no play, no penalty, and now Stewart is hit behind the line of scrimmage as these Saints keep playing. It'll bring up 3rd down and goal. A loss of 2.
Well, Mike Tolbert's going to be the lead blocker, but you're going to see Vaccaro, who he comes up and he just takes him right on, and he gives Stewart just nowhere to go with the football. That's great work by the Saints defense, and Vaccaro coming up and laying the wood.
We'll see if the Saints make Cam Newton pay for that effort heading toward the end zone a couple of plays ago. Third down and goal. Good protection. Flag is thrown. 2 of them are down. Pass is caught in the end zone by Jonathan Stewart, but there are flags all over the field. There's a hat down.
Holding. Offense, number 74. Third down.
See the hat in the back of the end zone, and 2 flags are thrown for a hold on Mike Remmers. But I'll take you back to what you pointed out. I saw the same thing. Cam Newton 3 plays ago was running for the end zone, was going to coast in and just sneak in the front door, and he got popped right here by Monty. Newton never saw it.
Yeah, if he goes low, you know, I don't know if he didn't see him or he just didn't expect it, thought that I don't know. But if he goes low, if Cam Newton does, he scores pretty easily on that play.
Now it's 3rd and goal from the 13. End zone, wide open, touchdown kid. And the potential touchdown run does touchdown pass on a laser from Cam Newton.
They just completely lose him into the end zone. You see Cam Newton, he wants that ball. He's going to go give it to one young kid here in the stands.
That's his Sunday giveaway.
Watch this route here and the job that he lose. Back here, he just runs right by him and gets into the back of the end zone, and hard to believe.
Again, touchdown number 5. And it's a 20-16 lead for Carolina as Cam Newton now with 2 third-down touchdown passes. On America's Game of the Week, the only undefeated team left in the NFL here in Week 13 leads by 4. Cam Newton moments ago just jogged off the field into the locker room. Derek Anderson is getting loose. We're wondering, trying to get confirmation. Aaron's down there, obviously. If it's for that helmet-to-helmet hit, going through maybe a concussion protocol after that hit by Michael Maudie. What followed was a touchdown throw to Ted Ginn for the lead. And the first lead of the day is enjoyed by Carolina. It's 4 points. Meanwhile, we've talked about all the penalties against Brandon Browner. Here was one for a personal foul after the whistle, after the play. Here's a defensive hold, which was called his 10th of the season, and then Brandon Browner and Dennis Allen, the new coordinator, just stood chest to chest with him.
And that came after the touchdown pass because it was Brandon Browner who was standing there that let Ted Ginn go right by him on 3rd and goal, the touchdown.
Here's a near interception by Ben Wickery as he stepped in front of Brandon Coleman.
Boy, they don't miss on many opportunities like that either. 18 interceptions coming into this game, leading the NFL. They've been a takeaway machine this season, especially here in the last month. And Ben Wickery, he has a great opportunity. They don't come much easier than that.
This Carolina team today is -3 in the turnover battle. but leading by 4. The Panthers have erased a 14-0 Saints lead. On 2nd and 10. Breeze had it hit, and that was the right hand of Charles Johnson. Good play. How about this play? Here's Mike Hill with a game break.
Hey guys, just like the Panthers, the Eagles have overcome a 14-0 deficit to take the lead. Malcolm Jenkins picking off Tom Brady on the goal line, and the former Saints about to take it back to the house. 100 yards on the return. Eagles desperately need a win. They're on top 21-14 in the third. Joe, Troy, back to you.
In the wide open NFC East, where even the Dallas Cowboys are alive. Another 3rd and long for Drew Brees, 3rd and 10. And he goes down. Sacked on the play by Short. And this guy is playing great football. K'Wan Short, sack number 7 on the year.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable all season long. You're going to see the rush here, and here comes Short, who he splits the double team. He's then on Drew Brees, and they've had a lot of sacks from a lot of guys, and one of the real keys has been the inside push, and K'Wan Short has been nothing short of amazing all season.
Beautiful punt by Morstead. K'Wan Short now with 7 sacks on the year. That ties the Carolina record. Chris Jenkins, his 7 sacks by a defensive tackle. Back to work on offense, up 4.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Better matters.
Panthers have their first lead of the day. Cam Newton is back out there. So everything checked out in the dressing room, whatever it was that they were looking at. And here's Stewart right side, well played by the Saints defense. Stephon Anthony was in there to help make the stop, a gain of 1.
And you think about it, Joe, Cam Newton, he goes in the locker room, he gets checked, he apparently is fine, he's back on the field and he's playing, but this has been a physical game for him. He had the ankle earlier in the game, and then of course the big collision, you know, there at the goal line, and that is one of the real concerns of this coaching staff, that his style, and they don't back away from it. I mean, they have him run the ball, obviously, but he takes a lot of punishment. He certainly can deliver it too, but can't afford to lose him.
2nd and 9. This pass is low and caught by Olsen. And again, Greg Olsen finds a void in the secondary for the Saints. They have turned him wide open, totally loose.
Well, they're giving him free releases off the line of scrimmage. They did there. And when they're in zone coverage, then he's just able to get in behind those linebackers and give Cam Newton just a free shot.
Olsen had 8 catches, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first meeting in week 3. Here's Stewart. Spinning, does not go out of bounds. How about that effort for a first down? He's like a bowling ball. Nobody can bring him down, and he just went right around Vaccaro and picked up 11. Survived this tackling effort by the Saints safety.
Yeah, Vaccaro, he's had a few penalties, but he's also made some nice plays, and comes in, tries to put the big hit on Stewart, unable to get him to the ground. Vaccaro, who came off a frustrating year last year, has, you know, again, for a defense that has had their problems, he's been pretty decent this season.
Here's Stewart. He just won't go down. Down near the 30, brought down by Anderson. This season streamed live, local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. I liked what longtime owner of the Carolina Panthers, Jerry Richardson, told us before the game. Former Baltimore Colt, native Carolinian, who talked about Cam Newton and said he's making the layup now. He's willing to take the underneath stuff, not always looking for the big home run. And he's such a threat with everything he does. He keeps it here. And he will run for an easy first down and hop out of bounds inside the 20. And before the game, Jerry Richardson was talking with Jake Delhomme was one of the nicest guys we've covered in our time together.
Boy, sure is. His first start was for the Saints, and it was against me when I was playing with the Cowboys. But Jerry Richardson, you know, you're right. He talked about Cam Newton being able to make the layup now and the plays that are given to him. But you could tell an owner that sure is proud of this team and proud of a lot of the players on this team, some of the character they have.
Here's Fonzie Whitaker right side with blocking in front of him. He's got a first down and sets up 1st and goal. Jerry Richardson is a flanker playing for the Colts. Caught a big Johnny Unitas pass in that championship game in 1959 against the Giants and used that bonus money to invest in Hardee's and start to build up his net worth. And when he took over as the Panthers owner, when they got the expansion franchise in October of '93, became the first ex-player to own a team in the NFL since George Halas, as Newton on 1st and goal is brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Bobby Richardson, a loss of 5. Well, 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, it's quite a success story for Jerry Richardson, and you know what he's been able to accomplish in bringing the NFL to Carolina. And like I said, they win this ball game, they win their 3rd straight NFC South division. Jerry Richardson, however, and the rest of his team, they got bigger aspirations than just winning their division.
By virtue of the Falcons losing earlier today, they've already clinched the division. Now 2nd down and goal with the ball back at the 13. Pass caught by Funchess. Touchdown. And what a throw by Cam Newton. Just on a line into pretty good coverage. Touchdown, Carolina.
Well, this is an absolute laser that he throws. Brandon Browner in coverage, a great release off the line of scrimmage, and Funchess, he came on about 4 weeks ago against the Green Bay Packers, and he's played awfully well. Does an excellent job capping that drive.
He stepped in when Corey Brown missed a couple of games with a bad shoulder. Doesn't matter who you give Cam Newton on the outside these days. He finds him, he hits him. 27-16 Panthers. Under 5 to go, 3rd quarter, and the Carolina Panthers are trying to make it 12-0. They trail at one point 14-0. They have taken this game over since then. Up by 11. This is Spiller. Knocked down at the 23. This weekend, as we pay tribute to the events at Pearl Harbor and honor those who selflessly serve our country, Fox Sports is proud to support Folds of Honor in its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our nation. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com. There is Tom Benson. Tom Benson, who was a Navy man, served in World War II on the USS South Dakota. Pass is caught as the Saints try to get it going again. This is Brandon Coleman. And Tom Benson, who has watched the Saints, as we said at the beginning, after handing this franchise over to Sean Payton, making the pickup of Drew Brees, become a team to be reckoned with across the NFL. They won it all in 2009. But it's been kind of fits and starts here the last couple of years. After getting their record even at 4-4, they've lost 3 straight coming in. Handoff is to Ingram left side, and he got hit hard by Kurt Coleman. Let's go to Mike Hill with a game break.
Hey guys, Pats haven't lost 2 straight in over 3 years, but that streak in serious jeopardy today. Darren Sproles on the punt return from his own 17, taking it to the house 83 yards. 3 of their 4 TDs today, non-offensive. 28 unanswered for Philly. They're up by 14 in the 3rd.
Mike, thanks. Movement, whistles, flags. See who gets it.
Neutral zone infraction, number 94, defense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Steve Horn, our editorial consultant, reminds us that on December 7th, 1941, that fateful day, the attack in Pearl Harbor, it occurred at 12:55 Eastern time in the afternoon. There were games that were going on in the NFL at that time. Here's a 2nd and 3, and they do it again. That's the easiest first down if it's against Ely.
Yeah, they may have gotten Ely again. He comes into this game with sacks in each of the last 5 games. He's trying to get another.
93 defense. 5-yard penalty results in the first down.
They got the wrong guy, at least number-wise. They said 93. Ely is the one who gets Cam Newton trying to pump him up. It's a first down by penalty. Back-to-back offside. Pass incomplete. When those games were going on in the NFL on December 7th in 1941, after that attack just before 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, public address announcers at games told service personnel to report to their units. At the Redskins game at Washington's Griffith Stadium, high-ranking government and military figures were paged. The attack, however, was not announced. There weren't even transistor radios that were in the stands by that point, so that was withheld. Imagine what that must have been like in those stadiums in 1941. Here is a fake toss. Breeze backs up. Down the middle. Got Cooks. Saints back in it. Touchdown, New Orleans. From Drew Brees.
Well, Brandon Cooks has only had 2 catches in this game prior to that touchdown reception. Josh Norman has been on him most of the time, and so they line him up right here where Josh Norman's going to be. They motion him across. Drew Brees knows immediately that it's zone coverage. Nobody goes with him, and they turn him loose down the middle of the field, and just a busting assignment on the back end by the Carolina Panthers.
And now going for 2 are the Saints. They are 0 for 3 in this category this season. They have a 2-point conversion. It came defensively on a block extra point. Doesn't count for this offense, trying to cash in here and make it a 3-point game. That's Ingram. And this is now a 3-point game at 27-24. With under 3 to go in quarter number 3. This is Brandon Cooks from 54 yards away, and then Ingram. The gap is closed to 3. Cooks hits a home run for 54 yards, and after the 2-point conversion, it's a 3-point game. This is Webb that dives in front of Whitaker to make the catch and a knee. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, it's well designed by Sean Payton. He puts Cooks right here, but that brings Norman this way. So what he does is he motion Cook here, thinking he's going to get one-on-one and get him to the post. He doesn't get the man-to-man coverage that he's anticipating. Instead, the Panthers go zone, and they should have had a good coverage against this with a 2-deep look, but it looked like Kurt Coleman initially, he trying to cover the crossing route on the deep guy, and then no deep middle safety help, and it allows Cooks to go the distance for the touchdown.
Kurt Coleman was a nice addition on a relatively cheap 2-year deal that Dave Gettleman put together for him. He's got 5 picks, had the touchdown at Dallas on Thanksgiving. Cooks ran right by him. Here is Stewart on a screen that never really developed. James Anderson on the tackle, a gain of 6.
Well, you know, you look at the second half, and Carolina, you know, they started to get some things going, and they were building a lead, and you just wonder then how a team's going to respond, especially one that's 4-7. And take a look at Mike Shula. He knows now he's got to keep his foot on the pedal, you know, with just a 3-point lead. But an excellent job by the Saints offense going down, coming away with a touchdown, and then converting on the 2 points.
Hand off to Stewart, and he is ripped to the ground behind the line of scrimmage by Davison.
Tyler Davison, he's getting his opportunity because John Jenkins is out with a concussion, and he makes a big play there to force a 3rd down with an opportunity for this Saints defense to get off the field.
Clock winding. There's a clock in the Fox box not operating. It's 3rd down. Newton steps through, and down he goes. A flag is thrown in the secondary. Cameron Jordan gets another for the moment. It is a hold against the Saints, and that's a 1st down. And takes a sack away from Jordan.
Holding. Defense, number 32. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
Vaccaro, and this has been a defense that's been racking up flags all game.
Yeah, they have. And Dennis Allen, he says we're going to play man coverage here on 3rd down. And Vaccaro, he has to try to cover Greg Olsen. And as Greg Olsen comes into him, he grabs him, and that's what the official sees. It was a good call. Everywhere else, pretty good coverage.
That's a 2nd on Vaccaro, 3 on Browner. 1st down by penalty. Now Cam Newton airs it out. He's got a juggle and a drop by Ginn. And Cam Newton couldn't have handed it to him any better.
No, that's what you call just walking it to him. You couldn't hand it off any better than this. I mean, this is a perfect throw. You got Brandon Browner trying to cover Ted Ginn. I mean, take that all day. And as I said earlier, this has been a problem for Ted Ginn is the drops. He's had them really all season long. He had a bobble earlier that he was able to haul in for the catch, but that was a touchdown going away.
Newton had 15 straight completions before that drop, a Carolina record. 2nd and 10. Pass is dropped again. This time it's Funchess. This is a Carolina team that lost their top threat on the outside, Kelvin Benjamin. August 19th, a non-contact situation, a torn ACL. Their 1st-round pick out of Florida State last year. Had over 1,000 yards as a rookie. He's missed the whole season.
Well, that one that Ted Ginn dropped, that was one of those layups that Jerry Richardson talks about.
3rd down and 10. Blitz. Panthers pick it up, and overthrown is Corey Brown. And he was wide open.
This is an unbelievable route by Corey Brown, and Cam Newton can't believe he missed him. He completely turns around Brandon Browner. There is nobody there. That 2 gimme touchdowns in 3 plays and unable to convert on either one.
Now Nortman to punt. What that possession could have been for Carolina as their lead is 3. Here is the rookie Murphy and a flag on the sideline. And now maybe Carolina gets one. Teddy Williams along the boundary. Just a 36-yard punt, 3 yards on the return. And a flag at the end of it. Who's it against? Carolina says it's against New Orleans. We'll see.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 24, the return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down.
So we'll take another look. A block in the back, and instead of it being a penalty the other way, Sean Payton's team, I don't know about that, gets called for that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that call either. They just see a guy go to the ground and they assumed he got blocked in the back, but didn't see much there by Kyle Wilson.
So that moves the ball for the Saints back inside the 30 to the 28. There have been 9 New Orleans Saints penalties in this game. They're averaging 9.5 a game. That's above the league average. Carolina's under 7 for the season per game. Breeze finds Hill. 30 seconds left in quarter number 3. Hill good for 4. Crazy game here in New Orleans. Wild game at Foxborough. With the Eagles trying to jump right back in it in the NFC East, and Drew Brees has had enough for the third quarter. 3-point game. Carolina up 27-24. And with that, we will step aside. Fox NFL Sunday returns after this from your local Fox station. Aerial coverage provided by Nationwide. 15 minutes left. Will the Panthers walk out of this building 12-0? Will the Saints pull an upset as they trail by 3, second down as we start quarter number 4? Protection. Breeze down the sideline for Cooks. Underthrown. Penalty flag on Ben Wickery. Never got his head around.
Well, they come right back with the same action that they scored the touchdown on earlier. They motion Cooks across the formation.
Defense number 25. Ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
They motion him across, and it puts him one-on-one with Ben Wickery on the outside, and Ben Wickery gets called for the pass interference, and rightfully so. There's contact. He doesn't turn to play the ball, but had Breeze have been able to get the ball out there, Cooks had a couple steps on Ben Wickery for a touchdown.
37-yard penalty. Now on first down, Breeze out to his right. Sideline, flag thrown, Watson with a catch. The catch is good, a flag is down.
There is no foul for illegal contact. The quarterback immediately rolled outside the pocket. No illegal contact.
So they pick the flag up. The catch is good. And it's a first down on the completion to the 20.
Well, that close. That heel was close as to whether or not he got his foot in bounds or not.
A challenge flag is thrown by Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera has one of the best arms in the NFL, or that's got extra weight in it, because this guy can throw a flag.
Sometimes you got to get those officials' attention.
Carolina,
he just
ruling on the field
launches
of a completed pass. We will review the play. Timeout.
That was called a catch. We'll get the call when we come back. Tight game in New Orleans.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. By Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by Target. Expect more, pay less.
Here's another look at that play along the sideline. We think Ron Rivera is going to win his second challenge of the game. You can make a case that maybe the left foot gets down, but it doesn't matter, because
After
Here's a
reviewing the play, the receiver did not get 2 feet in bounds. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. It will be 2nd down and 10 on the New Orleans hash, 14-46, 31-yard line.
So a bonus challenge now in the pocket for Ron Rivera. And the right foot never got down in bounds. He tapped that left foot down twice. So it's 2nd down and 10 with the ball outside the 30 at the 31.
Well, you said coming in he was second to Bruce Arians in challenges. He now has 10 on the year.
He's leading in that category.
That's right.
Unless Bruce went off in St. Louis, I don't know. 2nd and 10. Pass is caught by Hill. And Josh Hill, who came in with 10 catches on the season, good for 7. Kuechly on the stop.
Yeah, well, this has been an impressive drive. Like I said, this is a defense that it's hard to move the football against, and for a New Orleans team that, you know, obviously is down this season, has not had the year that they had hoped to have coming into the year, got down, and everything was pointing in Carolina's favor, and they just keep playing and keep plugging away. And right now, regardless of what happens here, they've got an opportunity to tie this ball game up.
Timeout taken by Drew Brees. Each side now has used a timeout in this second half. Drew Brees knows what it's like to be undefeated late in the season. He and the Saints were undefeated, got to 13-0 back in 2009 when they won it all, and now it's Cam Newton's turn, and it's the Carolina Panthers' turn, and it's been impressive to see them climb out of this 14-point hold. This is a game.
Yeah, they just keep playing. I mean, there's been a lot of things in the first half. A lot of things were going in their favor. They were able to create the takeaways in the second half. Here they get behind, and it looked like the game maybe was starting to get away from them, but you know, they haven't quit. I think that's a good sign for this team. It's a good sign for this staff. And, you know, we knew coming into this game that this was going to be a challenging game. Two teams that know each other a lot and have been at the top of the mountaintop. Certainly the Saints have been, and the way that Carolina's been able to play this year.
It was a good meeting the first time they met, week 3. That game ended basically on an interception by Norman in the end zone. A 5-point Carolina win. Now 3rd down and 3. All alone. Catch. Touchdown. Coleman. Saints back on top. Third touchdown pass for Drew Brees.
When they run the motion there, they run the swing route, and as Drew Brees pumps it to the swing, it forces then Josh Norman to make a decision. He throttles thinking they may be throwing it there. It allows then Coleman to get in the hole within that zone, and Brees threads it beautifully.
Coleman, Cooks, and Watson with touchdown catches for the Saints, who lead by 4. Drew Brees at home, deadly for the 4-7 Saints, trying to knock off the Panthers here today. Coleman good from 24 yards out, and for the young receiver, first year out of Rutgers, he's going to get more and more playing time down the stretch. Sean Payton loves him. Brandon Coleman has his 2nd touchdown catch of the season. Whitaker takes a knee. Well, they may be 11-0, but it has not always been easy. Some close calls this season. Overcame a 13-point deficit to beat Seattle on the road. They defeated the Colts in overtime after blowing a 17-point lead. That was a game where Ted Ginn dropped what could have been a game-ending touchdown catch, only to be bailed out by the right foot of Graham Gano, who's the special teams player of the month. For the month of November, here's Cam Newton down by 4.
And we'll see whether or not Dennis Allen is going to give help to Brandon Browner.
Fake toss, handoff to Stewart, a lot of room to run. And Jonathan Stewart is going to pick up 11 and a 1st down.
Well, that's an excellent job by Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator. They play the safety deep to give help to Brandon Browner, and because of that, they are not able to drop the safety down to help in run support. So they don't throw the ball at Browner. Instead, Mike Shula decides he's going to run it, anticipating they're going to give Browner help, and it pays off.
Started slow, but Stewart's had a nice day, and he has been tough to bring down. 4 yards of carry for Stewart and a touchdown. This is going to be a hold as Newton throws it away. This will be a hold against the offensive line of the Carolina Panthers. I want to get the number right.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's Remmers to back him up 10.
That's the right tackle, number 74, and that's a hold.
That's his third penalty of the day. His second hold. He also has one false start. And 6 false starts on the year. First and 20 now. Deep down the middle, pass caught by Olsen. He and Jarris Byrd were right there, and Olsen got in position for a 32-yarder.
Well, they call the perfect defense. They got Stephon Anthony, who's running with Olsen up the seam. It's an old Tampa Bay cover two is what they call it, but a perfect throw. Olsen's playing the ball. He's able to see the release, come back, make a play on it. And Anthony never able to get his head turned around. Just great execution.
The hit by Byrd came a step too late. Here's a pass caught somehow by Corey Brown, and he was dropped immediately by Kyle Wilson. Gain of 2, and that was a painful 2 for a guy they call Philly Brown.
Yeah, for a guy who's finally getting back onto the field this week after missing the last couple with a shoulder injury.
By the way, Aaron Andrews confirmed that they were checking the head of Cam Newton when he jogged off the field after getting that hit by Maudie earlier in this half.
They're one-on-one down here.
Newton's looking that way, and now fires for Ginn downfield. Touchdown, Ted Ginn. And just like that, Carolina back on top. Newton's got 4 on the day, and just continues to prove he can beat you in a number of ways.
Yeah, but he's going to run this, and what they're going to try to do is cover him then with Anthony down the middle, and that's not going to work. It's just a good play call by Mike Shula. They get a matchup problem. They don't play man coverage, what initially looked like it was going to be. They're expecting the middle linebacker rookie to try to cover again across the field, and just no chance.
And a 34-31 lead as Carolina goes back on top on a 45-yarder to Ted Ginn Jr. That must have felt like an eternity dropping out of the ceiling here at the Superdome. Panthers up 3.
Today's game is sponsored by Papa John's, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
Well, a big one to Ted Ginn Jr., who dropped one earlier. This one he just had to wait for. Wait till you see the throw that Cam Newton makes. From the position that he's in, just a flick, flat-footed. So impressive as the Saints will start from the 20 down 3.
Yeah, I don't think anybody questions Cam Newton's arm strength. If they do, then all they got to do is watch this. He launches this off his back foot about 55 yards in the air, and going back to what happened, yeah, Anthony trying to run underneath it, but here's Kyle Wilson. He's playing backside, and with nobody releasing this way, he's got to get back and help, and he's not able to, and that's who the coaches were talking to when they came off the field as to why there was a breakdown. Ted Ginn, he knew he's just cradling this one. he was not going to drop that ball.
Starting from the 20 down by 3. is, and it's Thomas Davis back near the 10.
Wow, Thomas Davis, they're off play action. He's blitzing. It's a run blitz, but he sees that Breeze keeps it, and he just has a free run. Pretty big hit there.
Sack number 5 on the year for Thomas Davis. We've had 3 lead changes in this game, and each team has had a double-digit lead. The lead is 3. It's 2nd and 19. Just got it away. Here's one for Watson. Pass picked off. Another one for Coleman. That's number 6 for Kurt Coleman. And the ball just finds number 20 for Carolina.
That's 4 straight games with an interception for Kurt Coleman, and what a year he is having. He's playing middle safety, and I don't know exactly what Drew Brees sees, but he goes to the middle of the field, and then Brees is trying to throw a deep post right where he's at. So a throw that really gets away from him, but even if he had thrown it where Ben Watson would have had an opportunity, they weren't going to make a play. Just an excellent job defensively, and Kurt Coleman with another interception.
Mentioned earlier, a big pickup by Dave Gettleman, the general manager of the Panthers. A good 2-year deal. He's been a nice find. But it's a nice find inside a defense that's well coached and works. Saturday, the final round of the Franklin Templeton shootout. Can't wait for that. Names like Zach Johnson and Matt Kuchar and Graham McDowell. It all starts at 1 Eastern, only on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. That's from down in Naples.
Well, Brees can't be happy with what he's seeing there. You talk about Kurt Coleman and Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator. They were together in Philadelphia. Coleman knows this scheme, knows the system. It's been a great pickup, and he has played, as so many of these guys have. You don't get to 11-0 without a lot of great performances.
Pass is caught by Olsen. Can't reach for the first down. He's a yard short. 3rd and 1 coming. Greg Olsen, what a steal he was. And that was Marty Herney, who was the general manager. He was a GM from 2002 through October of 2012, and he's responsible for drafting Cam Newton, Josh Norman, Thomas Davis, Ryan Khalil, traded for Greg Olsen, hired Ron Rivera. It's a tremendous resume by Marty Herney. 3rd down and 1. Is incomplete. Newton had Olsen all alone, and the throw just died on him.
Yeah, boy, Cam Newton knows that this should have been an easy conversion for a first down and keep this drive going, and just one that he pulls, and Olsen just not able to make a play. And you know, when I look at the Carolina Panthers, Joe, that's the one thing, as good as Cam has been this year, he makes a lot of plays, that when you get into the playoffs against teams that are just as talented, you got to be able to hit on those kinds of plays to close teams out.
Jarris Bird is waiting for the punt, a fair catch. Hauled in just outside the 10, so Drew Brees gets it right back. Down by 3, under 10 to go. Go back to 1972. The perfect season for the Miami Dolphins, and Don Shula 17-0, 14-0 during the regular season. Don quoted saying, "I'd like to see the Panthers do it. That would make me so proud if that happened." Why? His son, Mike, the offensive coordinator, former quarterbacks coach as well for Cam Newton when he came into the league, and head coach at Alabama's flags fly.
Illegal use of the hands, hands to the face, number 93, defense. 5-yard penalty is added to the end of the run, automatic, first down.
You get Kyle Love right there in the middle of the screen with a hand up under the face mask of Andrus Peat.
I know that Don Shula would sure be proud with his son going undefeated. I don't know that Mercury Morris would be proud.
They like to pop that champagne every year. Well, head coach for Carolina, Ron Rivera, was part of a team that was chasing that down back in 1985.
Yeah, it was Don Shula's Dolphins that knocked them off.
Breeze to the sideline. He's got Cooks, who's got a first down. The 85 Super Bowl champs were 12-0, lost to Miami on a Monday night. Mike Ditka and some of the Bears said that refocused them. They went on to win it all. This team, Carolina Panthers, trying to get to 12-0 here, leading by 3. Their defense on the field on first down. Pass caught. Cooks again. He is good for 6.
Well, what we've seen in this game is really Josh Norman. He goes with the team's best wide receiver each week. That guy this week is Brandon Cooks. But when he goes to the slot, Norman does not go with him. So they've started to put Cooks in the slot. They'll work him a little bit there. They motion him, as we've seen. And if they're not man, Norman's not going with him. They get the one-on-one matchup then with Ben Wickery. But they've gotten Cooks more involved here in this second half.
Cooks now across from a linebacker. Pressure on Breeze, going to run. First down and more. Got a good block along the way, and he slides down with a first down at the 48.
Well, everybody locked up here. He's pulling out, and then once there's some room, no eyes are on the quarterback. As Breeze gets up inside the pocket, he realizes that and takes it for a nice game.
Season-long 12-yard carry by Drew Brees. No quit in these Saints. Toss to Ingram left side. Good blocking out on the edge, and he spins for another first down. Went around Kirk Coleman on his way to a 13-yard carry on that toss.
That's just good, tough running there by Mark Ingram. And you called it, Joe. I mean, the Saints are really showing what they're made of, and they've had a lot of opportunities here in this second half to kind of shut it down, but they haven't. They've continued to battle, continue to fight back, and make plays when they've had them. There's still plenty of time in this game.
Pass is caught near the 20 by Ho'omanuanui. Illinois Mike, as they used to call him. He is a tough, big tight end. He's good for 19.
Yeah, not a guy that they really throw the ball to all that much. Primarily a blocker. They were able to pick him up from the Patriots in the trade earlier in the year. Makes a tough catch in traffic.
That's his longest of the year, and that's 9 different receivers hit by Breeze easily inside field goal range. Blitz. Saints pick it up. Ingram out of the backfield. Near another first down. And they're going to give it to him at the 9. It's first and goal.
Well, they got this defense reeling a little bit. They get Ingram in the flat. Kuechly is the guy in coverage. This is a heck of a drive right now by the Saints offense.
Different receivers, 3 touchdowns, 252 yards. A chance here for the lead. They run it. Ingram, touchdown, New Orleans. Change number 4 of this game.
That's a job that Brandon Coleman does on the outside. He's able to make a key block. Mark Ingram makes a guy miss, and then it's just smooth sailing all the way to the goal line. Excellent work by the Saints offense and finishing the drive off with a touchdown.
Wow. Ingram scared the wits out of that poor woman down behind the end zone as he fired it against the wall.
Touchdown is good. After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
That's against Ingram, and it may be because of this. There's the woman down back behind the end zone, right over the head of the photographer to her left. And she was like, wow.
Well, that photographer got a nice shot.
And Ingram got a penalty.
I don't know about the penalty.
I'd be anxious
I've never
to
seen
check
that one called
with Mike Pereira, unless we missed something that happened after that. The lead is 4. And Cam Newton is going to have to go back to work. What a game this is. Aaron Andrews, what do you got?
Well, we have the Carolina Panthers, the only undefeated team here in the NFL. And how about in the NBA? Steph Curry, reigning NBA MVP, leading the Golden State Warriors, who have won 21 straight. He is a huge Charlotte fan. Well, he's from Charlotte, huge Carolina fan, born and raised in Charlotte. Of course, his father, Del Curry, played for the Hornets. A lot of these guys on the Panthers went to that game this week. Cam was telling me he had a chance to meet up with Steph after the game. I did ask, who do you think will lose first? He said, because I am quite the competitor, I think that's going to be the Warriors. We'll have to see, guys.
Yeah,
Steph Curry, by the way, I will say this, sorry to interrupt. He believes also the Warriors will lose first. And since the Super Bowl is being played in Santa Clara, Steph Curry has said we do have a day off that day. So I'd love to see the Panthers in town.
Aaron, thank you. The kickoff will be returned, maybe, eventually. Whitaker. And after the penalty, Whitaker, the slow start. And now he's got a good return. Flag flies late in the return by Fozzie Whitaker. Sometimes you see that when a kickoff is dropped, it kind of throws the timing off. And Whitaker had a 38-yard return, but there was a penalty flag in the middle of it, and it's against Carolina.
Return, holding, receiving team number 21. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
What a job Luke Walton, by the way, has done stepping in for Steve Kerr, head coach of the Golden State Warriors. And there's the penalty. They called it against Teddy Williams. And instead of starting at midfield down by 4, they're going to start at their own 25. Second game in this home and home between the Panthers and the Saints, and Carolina 859 yards against the Saints this season, but trailing here by 4. Protection, pass broken up. Browner with a coverage, no flag, as Ted Ginn got up looking for one. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they have Brandon Browner locked up on Ginn again, and with the dig route, excellent coverage there. Maybe contact on that left shoulder with the left hand. But one of his better plays in coverage when we've seen him locked up. They're one-on-one again down here at the bottom.
That's Ginn. He's got a first down. Just a flick of the wrist by Cam Newton. And Ginn flashing across the middle, good for 13.
Yeah, I think Cam Newton and Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, when they see the one-on-one, if they've got a pass called, that's where they're going to work. And if it's a foot race between Ted Ginn and really anyone, Ted Ginn is one of the fastest guys in our game.
It looks like Newton's looking for who's ever across from Browner. On 1st and 10. Pass is high and hot for Tolbert. Incomplete. Sean Payton has to be pleased. That's a reflection of a head coach. They've lost 3 in a row. They are out of it in 2015. They have trailed multiple times in this game, at one point by double digits. Now leading by 4, trying to knock off the undefeated Panthers.
It looks like New Orleans may be bringing it here.
Here they come. Newton runs right through it, runs into the umpire right in the middle of the field, and it'll bring up 3rd down. The umpire is Fred Bryant. He got a face full of Cam Newton on a 5-yard run.
Well, this was a design quarterback draw the entire way. The outside receivers are blocking, everybody is, and you know, if you can get past that first wave, you've got a chance. With the man coverage and no safety help, I'm a little surprised Newton didn't check out of the run.
Sean Payton is livid on the sideline. 3rd down and 5. This one for Ginn. Pass is dropped again, but a flag is thrown. And Ginn dropped another. There's a hold call in the secondary. This is right there. It's against Bird, but here's another one off the hands of Ginn.
Yeah, this one, you know, he's trying. That's a heck of a play. If he's able to haul that one in, you know, you try to lay out. Not an easy.
Holding, defense number 31, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
They get Jarris Bird with the contact. It allows them to get the 1st down, but you know, we're seeing why the Saints have had issues this season in coverage. They've given up a lot of big plays, a lot of yardage, and we've seen a lot of opportunities as Sean Payton just not happy over there.
Well, they had 12 guys again in the huddle. That's why he came sprinting down the sideline. That's happened 3 times in this game that we've seen. Quick throw, Brown into Saints territory.
Well, earlier,
Wilson on the stop.
Yeah, earlier in the game when they had 12 guys and he called the timeout, they went back and looked at it, and it wasn't reviewable, as Mike Pereira said. You know, Sean Payton let the officials know then that was the 2nd time, and he's telling them, you got to pay attention to this. It's happening too often, and they've missed it. They've missed it every time.
Newton has his arm hit. Incomplete. The reason having 12 men in the huddle is a big deal. Let's see who got his hand on Newton. It looks like the left hand of Kevin Williams got there. It dropped untouched. 3rd down is because defenses put their personnel out there based on who's in the huddle. And that's why Olsen was looking for a flag on Vaccaro. We've seen another missed penalty here. 3rd down and 5. Newton going to run it all the way, and he's brought down from behind. It's 4th down. Brought down by Kikaha. And now a decision for Ron Rivera.
Well, similar situation. He went for it there in the 1st quarter.
It's 4th down. Newton looks like he got up in some pain.
I think there's no question you go for it here. It's a little longer than what it was, but you know, I'm surprised, Joe, on 3rd down there. They got one-on-one with Brandon Browner. He gives a cushion. You take a hitch route, you got it. Instead, they try running Cam Newton. They got it here, too, if they want it.
There's a hit high on Newton, who had his neck bent back. Now out to his left on 4th down, flips it. Caught by Olsen. The catch at the 30. And Newton waited for as long as he could, flipped it at the end, and just barely got it to Greg Olsen.
Yeah, Greg Olsen, he's able to make a play on this and keep this drive alive for the Carolina Panthers.
2-minute warning in New Orleans. Well, the Saints have challenged it. And here's what they're challenging. Olsen makes the grab, is going to the ground in the act of the catch. He rolls over. The ball will escape that right arm for a moment. Question is, did it touch the ground when it did? Looks like a clean catch there against the body. The roll over, but it comes out at the very end. On a 4th and 4, it was ruled a 16-yard completion. And this may give the best look. We'll get the call here in a moment.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It'll be a first down. New Orleans is charged a timeout and a challenge. It is a 2-minute warning.
And Sean Payton is still on fire because of the officiating here in this game. Mike, is that what you saw back in LA?
Yeah, here's what I know when they look at it. The ball did not come out when he hit the ground. He rolled completely over, and then the ball, he's got it tucked in, and then the ball came out after that. There's always an end of the process, and they look at that as being over. And here, he got control of the ball before the tip hit the ground, and he maintained that control, so they were right to stay with the call.
Okay, good.
It's an unbelievable catch by Greg Olsen, a ball that, even with Cam Newton under pressure, didn't need to be that difficult, but for him to be able to come back, make a play on a low throw on 4th down to keep this drive alive, that's a heck of a job on his part.
I say good because the last thing you want coming out of this is more controversy on a catch, non-catch. Talked about Roman Harper and what he wrote. The Peter King column. The fiery coach. He is fiery today. We welcome in a new audience. This has been some kind of game here in New Orleans. Right now, the Saints lead by 4. There have been 4 lead changes. Each side has led by double digits at one point. New Orleans led 14-0 early. You know the story with Carolina. They are 11-0, trying to go to 12-0. They have a first down at the Saints 30. Saints have lost their last 3. They're 4-7 and out, barring the miraculous of playoff contention. Newton, pass, caught. Kachuri spins his way inside the 20 with a Carolina first down.
Well, what we're seeing a lot of is just man-to-man safety in the middle for the Saints defensively. Dennis Allen's just saying this is what we've got to do, and so Carolina just taking advantage of some of those looks.
Inside the red zone are the Panthers. 10th play of the drive. Newton keeps it. Got 1.5 yards. And a timeout is taken by the Saints. They're out of timeouts. Here's a recap. We'll see what the truck picked. Funchess with a touchdown here late. Cam Newton at one point was checked inside for a hit to the head. Drew Brees and these Saints keep firing. As we said here early, no team, despite the record, wants to come in here and take on Drew Brees in his house. Answers on each side. Here's the go-ahead touchdown by Ingram. But this, if you're just joining us, on 4th and 4, a 16-yard completion that barely got to Greg Olsen. He rolled over with a catch, a first down. Now it's 2nd and 9. Greg Olsen in this game, 9 catches, 129 yards. His great year continues. 2nd and 9. Newton, end zone, touchdown, Kachuri. And the Panthers go back on top. 15 yards on another laser from number 1.
It's a great job by Cam Newton. He wants to work the flat route to his left. Brandon Browner was in coverage, and he sees it, doesn't like the look, goes through his progression, comes back to Jericho Cotchery, who ran an outstanding route up the seam that gave Cam Newton a place to go with the football. Look at the route. He leans it to the right like he's going to the post, and as he snaps it, or to the corner, and as he snaps it to the post, it creates the separation.
But still time for Drew Brees. No timeouts. Trailing by 3 with 1:05 remaining. And for Cam Newton, he ties his career high 5 touchdown passes here in this one.
Well, you see the flat route and the job that Cam Newton does initially when it's taken away. That's where he was going to go with the ball. It's not there. He doesn't like it, but hangs with his progression, comes back to the inside receiver to the post, and that's just good work. We've seen Cam miss a couple throws here today, but with the game on the line, down 4 and needing to make a play, he comes through as he has all year long.
He keeps answering critics. Does it with his legs. He has been brilliant with his arm. 1:05 remaining, and now the perfect season for the Carolina Panthers rests with the defense, which is probably exactly as Ron Rivera wants it, even though it's been a pretty big offensive day for Drew Brees and company on the other side.
Yeah, I tell you, Cam Newton, you know, his numbers, people want to poke holes in his numbers, and they're not gaudy like some. His fourth quarter efficiency this season has been off the charts.
There have been 4 fourth quarter lead changes in this game. The first time these two teams played, it was week 3 in Carolina. Kuechly did not play. Drew Brees did not play. And the game, in essence, ended with just over a minute to go on an interception by Josh Norman in front of Brandon Cooks to seal a 5-point win for Carolina. One of their close calls as they've compiled this 11-0 record.
Well, I'll tell you what, even though New Orleans does not have a timeout, 1:05, you just need a field goal to tie this thing up. There is plenty of time. This game's a long way from being over.
Brees throws, pass is incomplete.
Now the challenge is you've got to do it against one of the game's best defensive units.
We talked to Ron Rivera yesterday, and he talked about why they're so good at tackling and forcing turnovers. It's Kai Forbath, who hit his career-long 57-yarder last week at Houston. That means getting the ball to the 39-yard line of Carolina. 2nd and 10. This is Watson, first down. But they have to hurry, no timeouts.
Luke Kuechly, he's directing that defense, getting them lined up, matching what Drew Brees is doing offensively.
Kuechly can't get home. Got blocked by Ingram. Pass is caught. That's Cooks in midfield. And now we'll see if Brees clocks it. Under 30 to go. Let's go back to that catch by Cooks.
Well, first you got Mark Ingram, who comes over, and he's able to get enough of Kuechly to where he's not able to get there. It frees up a place for Drew Brees to step up into the pocket, and then he finds Cooks. And we've seen Mark Ingram now make some really key blocks in pass protection, and that's good work there.
The ball right at midfield. You only need 11 yards from this spot to bring about a 57-yard try. They want more than that. Brees comes underneath, incomplete. Kuechly with coverage on Ingram. This is a good tackling team and a turnover forcing defense by Carolina, something they work on every Wednesday. As you look at Kai Forbath, and this defense is trying to keep Forbath from having a chance.
What Forbath and this field goal unit's got to be prepared for, if they catch the ball and it's in bounds, clock's running, they got to be ready to get out on the field and try to kick a field goal to tie this thing up.
Pass is nearly picked off after it went through the hands of Brandon Coleman. Finnegan, who was just added this week, was back there but could not make the catch on the deflection.
Yeah, this is going to be tight now. With just 15 seconds left in this game, I don't think there's enough time to complete one inbounds and get your field goal unit onto the field, and that's assuming that they can get it in position to even give them a chance.
Well, right now it's 4th and 10. So they have to get the first down. And a timeout will be taken by Carolina.
Charge timeout. Carolina. For a second.
Another look at the NFC South. Carolina is the only undefeated team left as we play here in week 13. The former Chicago Bears linebacker Ron Rivera, the steady hand in charge of the Carolina Panthers, has his defense out there trying to make one stop here on 4th down to go to 12-0.
Well, you Drew Brees, it's 4th down and 10, and you know you're thinking that you've got to work the sideline somehow. You've got to get the first down, and somehow you got to be able to get this clock stopped.
Brees going for it all. Cooks downfield. Incomplete. And the Carolina Panthers, with no flags out on the field, are going to go to 12-0. Josh Norman in coverage, their best corner. And they finally got the matchup with Norman against Cooks, and Norman was right there.
And they gave him one-on-one. I mean, as they do, they put their best corner opposite him one-on-one. They play one-on-one to the field with Brandon Coleman. And, you know, if you trust that your guy can win, you've got a chance on a comeback route to catch it and get out of bounds. Instead, Sean Payton decides he's going to try to take a shot down the field and challenge their best corner. And Josh Norman, as he was week 3, as he has been all year long, was up for the challenge.
Carolina's 12-0. Ron Rivera is in charge of the 9th team in NFL history to start 12-0. 6 of those teams advanced to the Super Bowl, 4 won it all. Cam Newton, the roll continues. The winning touchdown to Jericho Cotchery. OT presented by Lowe's coming up. A big win for Carolina by 3.